What is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to the fourth and final round of locals feature matches for the week. I did not attend locals this past Saturday, obviously, because I was at YCS Niagara. So there won't be any locals feature matches probably until next week, I want to say, maybe Sunday, Monday of next week, which would be around the 19th. Unless I decide to record on my Tuesday locals, if I even decide to go to my Tuesday locals, which honestly I probably won't. So be expecting some other kinds of content in the meantime. So we're going to see Mathmech here versus Spright Frog. Mathmech, a very good competitive deck that I think is also relatively cheap. And it's been finding a lot of success competitively lately, which is really cool. It's crazy what one card will do for the deck, and like Circular is just such an insane card. Being able to facilitate the super factorial that much more often. And obviously, you know, Laplacian on the opponent's turn has always been insane. Diameter has also always been insane. But, you know, that Circular really pushing over the top. And this is my friend Alex playing the deck. This is, you know, the same player that used to play Flouanderies. Used to play Tri-Brigade Leerlusk before that. But has found a new love in that of the Mathmech deck. So, yeah, hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. We're going to see him go into the Wicked, and then he's going to use the effect of Alan Burchin to go ahead and bring out the Circular from the graveyard. And that will trigger Wicked effect to go ahead and banish a Cyberse in the grave to go ahead and add a Cyberse Tuner. And then we're going to see him link into Decode Talker Heat Soul. He'll pay 1,000 to go ahead and draw. Quick effect, pay 1,000, draw. And pretty standard kind of board here. Also, you know, getting the extra draw during the opponent's turn is going to be nice as well. Hopefully drawing into a hand trap of some sorts that is usable. And also having the trap searched with the Diameter engraved, right? A lot of interruptions already being set up here. I saw a Cosmic Cyclone in the opening hand. And looks like another copy of Super Factorial as well. We're going to see him pay 1,000 in the draw phase to go ahead and draw another card. I think two sets are imperm. One is definitely a Cosmic, and the other is a Super Factorial. I didn't know Super Factorial was played at 2, but I guess it would make sense if it does. I know some lists play Induction as well, which is kind of a nice card as like a Mystic Mine out. And it is also searchable. So two copies of Super Factorial in play currently, one being set, the other in hand. We're going to see Spright lead off with Pot of Prosperity, which is a fantastic card. I used to play it in the Rickerson Avalon deck, and it's a card I low-key miss in that deck. The only problem ended up being that like you would do your full combo, and if you did Prosperity at any point, like you wouldn't have any cards left in your extra deck, which often became kind of a problem. Especially if you wanted to have any, you know, semblance of a grind game, it just was not possible. So we're going to go ahead and see him reveal a Dark Ruler, a blue, and a starter. Obviously, the Spright extra deck being a lot more flexible. As, you know, there's only just a couple core cards that need to stay in. Your Elves, your Gigantics, and your Toads, really. Everything else is just kind of like utility. Which I do enjoy, having an extra deck that is very flexible. Something that I've come to like get used to not having playing Marincess and Rika lately. So their extra decks tend to be a lot more tighter than some of the other decks currently in play. So we're going to see him normal summon a Nimble Beaver here. To attempt to go ahead and summon out another copy of itself. That is going to get hit with Impermanence. This is going to put him on Have Another Body to be able to keep extending with. Now we know Starter is in hand too. And we're going to see him activate Super Factorial. We're going to see him chain Called By. That's going to get hit with Bell. And I feel like this is the perfect time where in response to that Bell, you chain your Starter. I feel like holding the Starter at this point is now just too late. You're just asking for it to get ripped out of hand. And if you do want to play it at any point after, even if it doesn't get ripped out of hand, you run the risk of it getting negated by the Laplacian. But he does have Dark Ruler no more to trade with that. But I think it was kind of greedy holding the starter here. The opponent does have a 25% chance of ripping it out of the hand, and he is going to go ahead and take that chance here. So the dice is rolled, and is it the starter? It is the starter. Super unfortunate, and honestly don't really see a way to play there. Yeah, he's got Dark Ruler, Smashers, and Swap Frog in hand. The opponent still has a Laplacian on field with a Negate live thanks to the Diameter and an Impermanent Cosmic, and yeah, that is going to be a wrap. Shout out, guys, to Imperium Duelist. Check them out at the link below. Don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. So we're going to see the Spright swap deck lead with the Swap Frog, dumping a copy of Ronin, and then activating Trickstar late stage to go ahead and search a Trickstar. This is going to go ahead and add the Lilybell. I think this engine is super, super strong in the Spright deck. Very, very, like, really flexible engine, I want to say. Not only does it give you a free level 2 body, but going into boards, being able to lock down and force back row with late stage is kind of awesome. I've played quite a bit against this variant of the deck. My friend Colin, who is currently on Spright, I had an opportunity to do a lot of testing against him because he wanted to get some testing in against the Rika deck, as he was very, very unconfident in that matchup, and playing against that build of Spright with the light stage stuff, you know, seeing it firsthand, it's just very, very strong into a lot of boards. The free body, again, the back row lockdown, just overall very flexible. Now we will see him link into Elf with the swap and the Lilybell. He'll revive the Elf, or revive the swap with the Elf. And then we're going to see Ash Blossom get used on the swap, which I guess is fair enough. Because if you do let that go through, he does have Ronin in grave. He would have Swap Ronin, which will allow him to establish Toad, thus making that Ash completely, I don't want to say like completely useless, but wouldn't have been that strong there. Also, you kind of have to take in the fact that well, I mean, he can't take this into account, but us, the spectator, can. Our Spright player does not have the best, like, hand right now. It is a Judgment, a Cosmic, and one other card. I think it's the second late stage. So even if he did let that swap go through, I don't think he was doing much past that if he wanted to go for totally awesome. So I think that Ash on the Swap Frog, I think, turns out being correct there. So I feel like most people are going to go ahead and make a Toad after that, assuming they have a way to play following that. Like they need like a Jet or something, or they need a blue or a starter would work very, very well. So we're going to see him get into exactly those, kind of like opting to go for a different route now that his one play has been kind of shut down. We're going to see him overlay the blue and the Jet into Djinn Buster, which does take 2 level 2 dark monsters. Now we're going to see Ronin activate its effect, banishing Swap Frog for cost. That will be successful, summoning itself to the field, linking off the Gigantic and the Elf, or the Gigantic and the Ronin into Elf. So ending on Elf, Djinn Buster, with set Cosmic, Judgment, and one other card, which I think we know it to be the Smashers, which will search off the Jet. So 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions here can definitely be enough if it is played right. I do want to preface this as well. Our Spright player on the left here, not super familiar with the Mathmech deck. I think this might have been like one of the few times that he's happened to actually play against it post support. So we'll kind of see how that looks as he tries to interrupt this hand we're gonna see here, which we're gonna see a Small World get easy access to Circular, revealing Driver, revealing Nibiru, revealing Circular. I believe the only thing that is matching between those cards is that they are all light monsters. Nothing else is the same. And then we're going to see him activate Circular in hand, dumping a copy of Mathmech Sigma to the graveyard. Now, there really isn't too much you kind of have to worry about, especially if you have something like Solemn Judgment in the backline, at least as Mathmech tries to go second into this particular board. I feel like if you can hold Judgment for Splash Mage, or hold it for the Alimbertian even, I feel like that would find a lot of value, since this deck is basically a lot of extenders at the end of the day, like addition, subtraction, Sigma Engrave, a lot of easily accessible extenders the deck has. And firing negates early oftentimes will not pay off. We're going to see Sigma activate Engraved. That's going to get negated by Djinn Buster, burning his opponent for 500 damage. And now we will see our Mathmech player finally commit his normal summon here. It's going to be for Mathmech Edition. And our opponent, Spright player, reading over this card here. Now, I really hope this doesn't get hit with Solemn Judgment. I could see why, though. Because if the summon is successful, that will trigger Circular to go ahead and search cards like Super Factorial or Induction. Probably going to go for the Super Factorial, which if he gets access to Super Factorial, I could see that being very, very scary. But he does not have Diameter in rotation currently, and that would basically just force him to set it, and that is all he is working with on his next turn, at least as far as we know. But unfortunately, I don't think Judgment there is correct. But again, our Spright player probably has very little experience against playing, Mathmech. So now we're going to see on the resolution of the Judgment, we're going to see him bring out Jet. Jet is going to go ahead and activate its effect to go ahead and search Spright Starter for follow-up. So in hand, he has a Light Stage and Starter. This second Light Stage, I'm assuming, is dead, simply because I think they only play one copy of Lilybell. And yeah, now we're kind of seeing that punish here of the amount of extenders this deck can play. Sigma, addition, subtraction, etc., etc. So now we're going to see subtraction activate, targeting the Spright Elf to make it lose 1,000 attack and attempt to special summon it to the field. And in response, we are going to see a Smasher just throwing out all the interruptions right now, trying to keep his opponent off of, getting access to Super Factorial. That addition that got normal summon, I don't know why that got banished after it got judgmented. I couldn't tell you, but... And again, speaking of punishes, there it is. Another addition in hand. He can use the effect now to special summon the addition since he normal summoned the other one. So he'll boost up his subtraction by 1,000. And yeah, now we're just going to see Splash Mage just go ahead and do its thing now. And I don't really think there's anything our Spright player can do from stopping his opponent to getting access to access code at 5,300. And they can beat over that 400 attack now, Elf. And yeah, that is just going to be game. So yeah, a little bit of an experience against Mathmech there, kind of showing quite a bit. But it is what it is, right? You live and learn. You got to take L's like these so you don't take them in the future against the same deck. But yeah, so Mathmech will take that one 2-0 over Spright Frog. And that is going to do for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, HEH Cyber, and Mango. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel as generously as you guys have.